Imagine standing at the edge of an active volcano, feeling the searing heat radiating from molten rock below. The temperatures here reach over 1,200 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt copper. Yet this inferno is nothing compared to what lies beneath your feet, thousands of kilometers deeper, where Earth's core churns at temperatures exceeding 5,700 degrees Celsius, and pressures so intense they could compress a car into the size of a marble. What if, in this ultimate crucible of our planet, evolution had found a way to spark the most extraordinary form of life ever conceived? Deep beneath the familiar world of forests and oceans, where sunlight has never penetrated, and where the very concept of seasons becomes meaningless, lies a realm that challenges every assumption we hold about the boundaries of existence. Earth's core represents the ultimate extreme environment, where iron and nickel exist in states so compressed and superheated that they defy our everyday understanding of matter itself. The outer core maintains temperatures between 4,000 and 6,000 degrees Celsius, while subjected to pressures ranging from 135 to 330 gigapascals, conditions so severe that they exist nowhere else in our solar system, except perhaps in the hearts of gas giant planets. To understand how life might evolve in such an environment, we must first appreciate what current biology tells us about the absolute limits of survival. In the deepest trenches of our oceans, remarkable organisms called piezophiles have mastered the art of living under crushing pressure. These extraordinary microbes thrive in conditions where the weight of water above them creates pressures exceeding 140 megapascals, roughly 1,400 times the pressure we experience at sea level. The current record holder, Colwellia marinamanii, discovered in the Mariana Trench, represents the pinnacle of pressure tolerance in known life, flourishing where the ocean's weight would instantly crush any surface-dwelling organism. Yet even these champions of the deep represent merely a whisper compared to the tremendous forces at work in Earth's core. The pressures there exceed those of the deepest ocean trenches by factors of thousands. Similarly, while thermophilic archaea like Methanopyrus candleri have pushed the temperature boundaries of life to 122 degrees Celsius under high-pressure conditions, they still fall short of core temperatures by margins that seem impossibly vast. These organisms achieve their heat resistance through specialized proteins that maintain their structure when ordinary biological molecules would simply fall apart. Yet they represent only the first steps on a journey toward conditions that dwarf their capabilities. The fundamental challenge facing any hypothetical core-dwelling life form would be the preservation of complex chemistry under conditions where ordinary matter behaves in extraordinary ways. Water, the universal solvent that makes Earth's surface biology possible, cannot exist as a liquid at core temperatures and pressures. Instead, the hydrogen and oxygen atoms that compose water would be dissociated and compressed into exotic states of matter. Any core-based life would need to evolve entirely different chemical foundations, perhaps utilizing the metallic properties of liquid iron and nickel as their primary medium. Consider how such organisms might initially emerge. Rather than beginning in the core itself, evolution might have started its deep journey in the more moderate environments of Earth's lower mantle, where temperatures reach several thousand degrees Celsius and pressures climb into the hundreds of gigapascals. Here, in the transition zone between the familiar rocky mantle and the metallic core, early extremophile communities might have first adapted to utilizing mineral substrates for energy. Much as modern deep subsurface bacteria metabolize iron and sulfur compounds thousands of meters below the surface, these ancestral organisms would face evolutionary pressures unlike anything experienced by surface life. Rather than competing for sunlight or organic nutrients, they would need to harvest energy from the fundamental forces holding atomic nuclei together. The intense magnetic fields generated by the swirling metallic core could provide a virtually limitless energy source. if organisms could evolve the molecular machinery to tap into electromagnetic induction on a cellular scale. Such life forms might develop internal structures resembling biological superconductors, channeling electrical currents through specialized organelles that function like living dynamos. The biochemistry of core life would necessarily involve molecules and reactions that remain stable under extreme conditions. Rather than the fragile carbon-based proteins and nucleic acids that define surface life, these organisms might evolve silicon-metal hybrid structures, incorporating iron, nickel, and other heavy elements directly into their cellular architecture. Their genetic material, if it can be called that, might consist of crystalline matrices capable of storing information in the precise arrangement of metallic atoms under immense pressure. Reproduction could occur through controlled nuclear reactions, with parent organisms literally transmuting elements to create offspring with slightly modified atomic compositions. The evolutionary timeline for such life would span geological epochs, where surface evolution measures significant changes in millions of years. Core evolution might require billions of years to produce noticeable adaptations. The extreme stability of the core environment, unchanged for most of Earth's history, would provide the consistent selective pressure necessary for such radical biochemical innovations to emerge and persist. As these primordial core organisms evolved greater complexity, they might develop sensory systems capable of detecting minute variations in temperature, pressure, and magnetic field strength. Their equivalent of eyes might be organs that perceive the subtle electromagnetic signatures of different mineral compositions, allowing them to navigate through the flowing metallic medium of the outer core. Communication between individuals could occur through modulations of local magnetic fields, creating a form of electromagnetic speech that travels through the conductive medium at incredible speeds. The ecology of core life would be utterly alien to surface biology. Rather than ecosystems based on predator-prey relationships, core communities might function more like interconnected electrical circuits, with different species serving as biological resistors, capacitors, and transformers in a vast living network that processes the enormous energy flows of the core. Some organisms might specialize in concentrating rare elements from the iron-nickel matrix, creating hotspots of chemical diversity that support more complex community structures. Others might function as biological filters, selectively processing different isotopes and creating chemical gradients that drive further evolution. The implications of core-based evolution extend far beyond individual organisms. If life could establish itself in Earth's core, it would represent a biosphere containing more total biomass than all surface life combined, given the enormous volume of the core region. These organisms would participate directly in the geological processes that generate Earth's magnetic field, potentially influencing the very forces that protect surface life from harmful cosmic radiation. The metabolic byproducts of core life might subtly alter the composition and behavior of the core, creating feedback loops between biology and geophysics that operate on planetary scales. Such life forms would possess capabilities that seem almost supernatural from our surface-bound perspective. Their ability to manipulate matter at the atomic level through controlled pressure and temperature variations might allow them to create new elements or modify existing ones. They could potentially influence seismic activity, channeling the immense energies of the core in ways that affect geological processes throughout the planet. The boundary between living organism and geological feature would blur entirely, as these beings might exist as integrated components of the planetary machinery itself. The discovery of core life would revolutionize our understanding of evolution's creative potential. It would demonstrate that the fundamental processes of natural selection and adaptation can operate under conditions far more extreme than previously imagined, suggesting that life might emerge in environments throughout the cosmos that we currently consider utterly hostile. The exotic biochemistry of these organisms might provide blueprints for technologies that function under extreme conditions, opening possibilities for human exploration of planetary cores, stellar interiors, or the dense environments surrounding neutron stars. Yet perhaps the most profound implication would be the realization that our planet harbors forms of consciousness and intelligence that have evolved along entirely different pathways than surface life. These beings might possess perspectives on time, space, and existence that reflect their unique environment, where change occurs over geological timescales, and where the very atoms that compose their bodies participate in the fundamental forces shaping planetary evolution. The story of core evolution ultimately challenges us to expand our conception of life's possibilities, while remaining grounded in the principles of chemistry and physics that govern all natural processes. While the extreme conditions of Earth's core likely preclude the emergence of life as we understand it, the thought experiment reveals how evolution might theoretically overcome seemingly impossible barriers through incremental adaptation over vast timescales. It reminds us that the boundaries of life continue to surprise us, as each new discovery of extremophiles in environments once thought sterile pushes the envelope of what we consider possible. In contemplating life at the core of our world, we glimpse not just the theoretical limits of biology, but the endless creativity of evolution itself when faced with the ultimate challenges our universe can provide.